What if I told you that the best way to make her come back isn't to chase after her, but to completely let go? When a woman leaves, it feels like the end of the world. You're left wondering what went wrong, asking yourself what you could have done differently. The pain is real. But what if I told you that this very moment of pain could be your turning point? The moment you become someone she can't resist coming back to. Most men believe that pursuing her, begging or trying to prove they're worthy will bring her back. But here's the secret. It won't. In fact, it pushes her further away. The real power lies in the ability to walk away from this need and instead rebuild yourself in a way that makes her realize she can't replace what she once had. True power comes from self-mastery. If you're ready to stop chasing and start attracting, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I control my emotions, not my past. Let's dive in. 1. Stop proving. Start disappearing. She's pulling back. Her words are fewer, her tone colder. Your instinct screams at you, do more, reach out again, show her you care. So you do. You double text. You reply faster. You tell yourself it's effort, but all she sees is erosion of your value, your mystery, your self-respect. This isn't attraction, it's imbalance. Stoicism reminds us to depend on anything external is to chain yourself to suffering. You've chained your emotional state to her attention. You feel rejected, so you react. But reaction is not strength, it's surrender. Let's shift. Stop chasing, stop explaining, let the silence fall like snow, quiet, cold, and impossible to ignore. This isn't detachment out of spite, it's detachment out of principle. You don't run after someone who stops walking toward you. You turn inward, you sharpen, you ascend. Think of it like heat. A room too warm is stifling, suffocating. But when you step outside into crisp silence, it wakes something up. That's what your absence does. It stirs discomfort. Not because you said anything, but because you finally stop saying everything. Here's what to do now. Go quiet. No calls, no comments, no late night scrolls through her page. Let every ounce of attention you once gave her fuel something else. Your body, your vision, your work. Let her feel the weight of what she used to have, not through confrontation, but through the sheer power of your disappearance. Psychologically, this reversal breaks her expectation. Most men react, you don't. Most chase, you don't. Most need her. You've remembered that you are the prize. Your indifference is not a trick, it's the truth. She forgot. And now, she'll have to face it. Be ready to let stillness speak louder than your words ever could. Comment below. My calm is my message. I don't chase, I lead. 2. Her distance isn't the problem. Your reaction is. She's slipping away. You feel it in the pauses, the vague replies, the energy that used to feel alive now gone flat. You tell yourself it's temporary, that maybe if you try a little harder, call more, compliment more, she'll come back. But deep down, it feels hollow, like pouring water into sand. The truth? Her distance isn't your crisis. Your craving to fix it is. When a woman feels total control in the dynamic, she instinctively loses interest. There's no chase, no curiosity, no tension. You've made yourself fully available, instantly responsive, endlessly understanding, and in doing so, you've become predictable. Stoicism teaches that desire, when unchecked, leads to dependency, and dependency makes us weak. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Her pulling away? That's outside of you. But the urge to chase? That's your domain, and it's time to reclaim it. Imagine this moment as a test, because that's exactly what it is. Not consciously, but instinctively, she's checking your center. Will you collapse? Will you beg for closeness? Or will you stay composed, unbothered, still? Most men react. but you are not most men. Here's what to do. Stop matching her energy. Don't lean in when she leans out. Don't reward coldness with attention. Instead, lean back gracefully. Let the distance be met with silence, not pursuit. Let your lack of reaction become your message. Not "I don't care," but "I." Psychologically, this disrupts her rhythm. You're supposed to react. You're supposed to fight for her attention, but you don't. And in that calm withdrawal, you force a new question to rise in her mind. Why isn't he chasing? What changed? That question? That's your power. If you can master the space between stimulus and response, you're not just controlling the moment, you're controlling the entire emotional frame. She'll feel the shift. She may not say it, but she'll feel it. If you're done reacting and ready to rise, comment below. I don't chase chaos, I hold my center. 3. Emotional detachment isn't cold, it's command. You care too much. That's the real issue. Every text you don't get, every story she posts, every moment of silence, it gets under your skin. You can't stop thinking about her, and worse, you think that means you love her. But love isn't obsession, and caring too much isn't strength. It's emotional captivity. Right now, your entire mental state is tied to her presence or absence. That's not connection, it's dependency. Stoicism teaches the opposite. Care deeply, but never cling, because anything you cling to becomes your master. When you feel like your world tilts every time she pulls away, you've surrendered your power. Detachment doesn't mean you don't feel. It means you refuse to be ruled by what you feel. It's not indifference, it's discipline. Think of it like a warrior sharpening his blade. He doesn't let emotion cloud his focus. He feels the pain, the pressure, but he moves with clarity, not chaos. So, how do you take back command? Stop feeding the fire. Every time you check her page, replay old conversations, you're reigniting a flame that's burning you from the inside. Step back, reclaim your mind. Let her absence sit in silence, not spiral into stories. Here's what to do. Create a hard line. No emotional overthinking. No internal negotiations. When you feel the urge to reach out, don't. When you feel the need to interpret her distance, don't. Replace rumination with action. Go for a run, journal, learn, build. Get stronger day by day in her silence, and something powerful happens. She starts to notice the man who once clung no longer does. The energy she used to control no longer reacts. That shift shakes her. Your emotional detachment doesn't make you invisible, it makes you unshakable. And that, more than words, draws her back in. You don't chase her anymore. You don't even wait. You lead your life, and she can choose whether to catch up or fade out. If you're ready to be the calm in your own storm, comment below. I master myself. No one else holds that key. 4. Don't reach out. Let silence do the talking. She's distant and your instincts are screaming. Fix it. Send a text. Like her post. Leave a comment. Anything to remind her you're still here, still waiting. But every time you reach out, you reinforce exactly what's killing her attraction. That she holds all the power. Stoicism doesn't teach us to fight for attention. It teaches us to fight for clarity. Right now, your urge to act is rooted in fear, not strength. Fear of losing her, fear of being forgotten. But, as Epictetus said, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. You don't need to speak to be heard. Sometimes, the loudest thing you can say is nothing. Because silence, when rooted in self-respect, doesn't sound like absence. It echoes like presence. She notices. She feels it. And most importantly, she starts wondering. Think of it like a stage play. The moment your character exits and the lights dim, the audience leans in. You let it work. You let her feel the weight of your non-reaction. Here's what to do. Enforce a strict no-contact zone, not to punish her, but to protect your value. No messages, no likes, no passive check-ins. Let the silence stretch. Let it become a mirror. She'll either realize what she lost, or you'll realize she was never meant for your path. Psychologically, this unsettles her. She's used to attention. She's used to being chased. When you stop playing that role, you force her to reconsider the script. Your absence becomes the plot twist, and in that disruption, she begins to remember who you are because you've stopped reminding her. This isn't emotional warfare. This is emotional wisdom. You don't raise your voice. You raise your standard. You don't lower your worth to be seen. You step back and let it speak for itself. If you're ready to let your silence echo louder than your words, comment below. No message is the message. My peace speaks volumes. 5. No contact isn't punishment. It's power. You've probably heard it before. Go no contact. But most men misunderstand it. They think it's a game, a way to trigger guilt or spark jealousy. But from a stoic lens, it's something deeper. It's not about her at all. It's about you reclaiming the part of yourself that forgot how to stand alone. Right now, your emotions are like waves, high one moment, crashing the next. You're tempted to check her page, wondering if she's thinking of you, hoping she notices your absence. But hope is a trap when it keeps you stuck. And this time, you're not going to wait to be chosen. You're going to choose clarity. The no contact rule isn't about silence. It's about space. The kind of space that lets pain evolve into perspective. The kind that reminds you who you were before your worth got tied to someone else's approval. In Stoicism, detachment isn't apathy. It's alignment. You're not avoiding her. You're returning to yourself. Picture it like a fortress. You've let her walk in and out as she pleases, rearranging the furniture of your peace. Now the gates are closed. Not out of anger, but out of order. No texts, no replies, no reactions. For 30 days, she hears nothing from you, not because you hate her, but because you finally respect yourself. Here's your practice. Set a 30-day countdown. Delete the thread, mute her stories. Write down every time you want to reach out and do something productive instead. Journal your emotions, not your messages. Why this works. It shifts the psychological dynamic. She's used to being the center of your focus. When you remove that attention, she's no longer certain of her place in your life. That uncertainty grows. Doubt creeps in. Is he over me? Has he moved on? Meanwhile, you're not just waiting. You're building. And when she checks back in, what she finds is not the man who begged. It's the man who leveled up in her absence. If you're ready to let go of control and lean into power, comment below. I choose space over scraps. My silence is sacred. 6. Build in silence. Rise in her absence. The silence is loud now. She's not reaching out. Your phone's still. Your mind races. And every part of you wants to wait. Wait for her name to pop up. Wait for that text. Wait for her to realize what she lost. But waiting is not healing. Waiting is passive. And passivity is the death of progress. Stoicism teaches that suffering comes not from what happens, but from our judgment of it. Right now, your judgment is tied to her actions. Does she care? Does she regret? But this is your moment to redirect, not toward her, but toward yourself. She's gone quiet? Good. That's the space you needed and never took. The energy you once gave away so freely is now yours again. So don't waste it staring at a phone. Use it to become undeniable. Think of yourself as clay that's been shattered, poured into the shape she liked. Now you pull that clay back, remold it, harden it in fire. You don't just move on, you upgrade. Not for her, not for revenge, but because you've remembered who you are when no one's watching. Here's what you do. Hit the gym with intent, not distraction. Pick up a new skill that demands your full attention. Wake up earlier. Read philosophy. Write your thoughts. Reconnect with friends who remind you of your worth, not your wounds. And as you rise, something happens, not just in you, but in her. She senses the shift. The silence no longer feels like punishment. It feels like evolution. She expected the man who waited, who needed closure, who checked in. But what she finds if she looks again is a version of you that no longer revolves around her orbit. Psychologically, this is power. You stop performing, you start becoming. She doesn't see effort, she sees growth. And growth, especially silent growth, is the loudest message you'll ever send. If you're done waiting and ready to transform, comment below. While she wondered, I rebuilt. I rise without noise. 7. Turn the pain into power. Fuel the fire. The silence hurts. The absence cuts deep. And some days, it feels like grief. You scroll through memories, conversations, what ifs. But here's the brutal truth. Pain is not your enemy. It's your untapped engine. And until you choose to use it, it will keep using you. Stoicism doesn't deny pain, it transcends it. Seneca wrote, difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. So when your heart aches, when her name still lingers in your chest, that's your training ground. That's your emotional gym. Most men sit in that pain. They wallow, they wait, but not you. You convert. Imagine every pang in your chest as fuel. Not for revenge, not for show, but for construction. Every drop of longing becomes a drop of sweat. Every second spent thinking of her becomes a second building the next version of you. You don't run from the storm, you step into it and let it shape you. Here's your shift. Turn heartbreak into habit. Wake up earlier, train harder. Let your routine carry the weight your emotions can't. Journal not about her, but about what you're becoming. Use the fire of loss to light the path of growth. This pain, it's refining you. Pain is pressure, and pressure is what turns rock into diamond. She may never know the depth of what you felt, but that doesn't matter. Because this version of you, the one who walks through fire and keeps moving, he knows. And when she sees you again, if she does, she won't recognize you. Not because your clothes changed, not because you've put on muscle or achieved more, but because your center shifted. The man who once sought closure now seeks nothing. He builds, he breathes, he belongs to himself. Psychologically, this reversal is powerful. Pain usually makes people fold, but when pain makes you forge, you stand apart. And what once broke you now becomes your badge. If you're ready to turn the ache into ascendance, comment below. I don't suffer. I build through the burn. 8. Emotional strength is silent, not loud. She pulls back, and the average man spirals. He floods her inbox. He questions everything. He looks for meaning in every delay, every change in tone. But you're not the average man. You've seen what that reaction leads to. More distance, more confusion, more loss of self. Emotional strength isn't about pretending you don't care. It's about not needing to react. And that's what Stoicism teaches us. Don't be ruled by impulse. Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. This is where that lesson lives. Right here, in the pause, in the stillness. She expects you to break, to chase, to show up in her DMs with another emotional plea. But you won't. Not this time. Because your peace isn't negotiable, and your center isn't up for debate. Think of emotional strength like a tree in a storm. The winds bend it, beat it, try to tear it from the roots, but it stands. Not because it resists the storm, but because it's grounded. That's you now. The emotions can come, the thoughts can swirl, but you stay rooted. Here's how you embody this. Let the silence pass through you without response. When you feel the urge to react, breathe, write. Anchor yourself to discipline, reading, training, creating. Speak less, observe more, lead with stillness. And slowly, everything changes, not just within you, but around you. She senses it. She expected the chaos. She finds calm. She expected a boy chasing validation. She finds a man sitting in self-command. That contrast, it's magnetic. Not because you want her back, but because you no longer need her back. Psychologically, this reversal is rare. It's the uncommon path. Most break. You bend, but never fall. And in that choice, in that quiet strength, you become the most attractive version of yourself. Not for her, but for you. If you're ready to let calm become your signature, comment below. Emotion doesn't move me. I move through emotion. 9. Let her feel the void, not your voice. You used to be everywhere, texting her first, showing up in her notifications, always available at the tap of a screen. Now, there's only silence, and that silence to her is unfamiliar, disorienting, uncomfortable. But that's exactly the point. In a world addicted to constant connection, your absence isn't neutral. It's loud. Louder than any message you could send. Louder than any apology or attempt to explain. She scrolls and doesn't see your name. Checks her inbox. Nothing. That vacuum doesn't go unnoticed. It stirs curiosity, then concern, then longing. Stoicism doesn't ask us to disappear out of bitterness. It tells us to walk away with dignity. The best revenge, Marcus Aurelius said, is to be unlike him who caused the injury. And right now, that means not doing what she expects. She expects the reaction, the reach out, the attempt. But you're not in the business of proving anything anymore. Think of absence like gravity. It doesn't scream. It pulls subtly, constantly. It doesn't ask for attention. It demands it by simply being. You don't need to post cryptic quotes. You don't need to pretend you're happy. You just need to be gone, present in your life, invisible in hers. Here's what you do. Stay off her radar completely. Don't comment, don't like, don't even view her updates. Let your lack of presence become a presence in itself. This silence unsettles her because it disrupts the narrative. You were supposed to chase. You were supposed to care louder. Instead, you vanished. Not to manipulate, but to protect your energy. She now has to live with that space, and whether she admits it or not, she'll begin to miss what used to fill it. Psychologically, this is attraction through absence. Not by design, but by discipline. You're not waiting for her to miss you. You're becoming someone who no longer needs to be missed. If you're done speaking and ready to let silence rewrite the story, comment below. She won't hear me, but she will feel the silence. 10. When she reaches out, don't rush in. The message comes out of nowhere. After weeks of silence, her name lights up your phone again. And just like that, your heart starts sprinting. She's back. She wants to talk, maybe even fix things. But this is where most men fail, because they treat her return like a rescue. Stoicism reminds us, never be ruled by the moment. Epictetus said, practice yourself for heaven's sake in little things, and then proceed to greater. And this, her message, is one of those greater moments. Because now your reaction reveals your discipline. Are you still grounded, or were you just waiting? She's not testing your phone. She's testing your frame. She wants to see if the silence she once ran from turned into strength, or was just a waiting room for your desperation. The worst thing you can do now is rush in, overcompensate, or show relief, because then she'll know you never moved on, you just hit pause. Think of this moment like standing at the edge of still water. Every ripple you create now either reflects power or exposes insecurity. Here's how you respond. Don't reply immediately. Give it space. When you do, be neutral, calm, brief, no emojis, no exclamations. Just clarity. Example. Hey, I've been focused on some things. Hope you're well. You're not cold. You're composed. You don't punish her for leaving. You just don't reward her too quickly for coming back. Let her effort meet the resistance of your standards. Psychologically, this flips everything. You're no longer the man she remembers, the one who overreached, overgave, overreacted. Now you're measured, and in that quiet restraint, she sees something powerful. A man who isn't available just because she decided to return. If you're ready to respond with strength, not emotion, comment below. I don't react. I receive with reason. 11. When she comes back, make her earn her place. She returns. The conversation starts again. Her tone softens. Her interest returns. Maybe she says she missed you. Maybe she doesn't say it, but you feel it. And for a moment, you're tempted to let the past dissolve, to pick up right where things left off. But here's the truth. If you go back without change, it all repeats. The same imbalance, the same power dynamic, the same emotional exhaustion. Because if she comes back and nothing is different, then nothing was learned. And that's not growth, it's relapse. Stoicism demands boundaries. It demands clarity of self-worth. As Marcus Aurelius put it, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. So if you've spent this silence rebuilding yourself, you can't let her return, repaint you in old colors. This version of you doesn't just accept love. It requires alignment. You don't let her walk back into your life as if she never left. You require proof, consistency, intention, respect. You ask the hard questions, not to accuse, but to understand. Why now? What changed? And most importantly, what are you offering that matches what I've built in your absence? Here's what to do. Don't rush intimacy. Let the connection rebuild slowly. Communicate your standards clearly and calmly. Make it clear that this time your presence isn't free, not out of ego, but out of equilibrium. If she wants back in, she must re-earn the space she once took for granted. That's not punishment, that's protection. Psychologically, this sets a powerful precedent. You're not the man who's just happy she came back. You're the man who has options, who has depth, who doesn't settle for emotion without effort. That kind of man is rare, and that kind of man doesn't chase, he chooses. And here's the paradox. When you raise your standards, the right people rise to meet them, or fall away. Either way, you win. If you're ready to protect what you've rebuilt, comment below. My life is earned, not granted. Final message. You thought losing her was the worst thing that could happen, but now you see it was the best thing. It freed you to become someone stronger, someone who doesn't beg for attention, but commands it. She didn't take your power, she only revealed where you had left it behind. If you're ready to keep evolving into that unshakable version of yourself, like this video, subscribe, and comment below. I am unstoppable. Stay strong. Keep building. Your future is waiting for you to claim it.